welcome to the Longevity with Light webinar. I'm your host, Lesley Klein, and I'm so excited about this new light technology that I've been using for about 3 months now. Now, March is Women's History Month, and in celebration, we have a very special guest, Dr. Staci Holweger, who is a functional medicine doctor here to help us learn about a patch that helps with hormones and weight. But before we get to Dr. Holweger, let me first introduce you to my guest. Not my guest, my co-host. And we've got Thomesa Lydon, a longevity consultant, and also Beth, Steil. Thank you, ladies, for being here today. Rachel will be joining us later. So in the meantime, I also want to welcome all of our viewers that are watching, both on social media and also on the webinar and also on the replay. So if you're watching live, you can comment or ask any questions throughout the webinar, but we will be answering those at the end of the show. So Beth, would you kindly read the disclaimer?
Yes, you bet. Lifewave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The information provided is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Individual results may vary. Consult with a healthcare professional before using Lifewave products, especially if you have a medical condition or are taking medications.
Thank you, Beth. All right, so let me tell you about Dr. Holweger. Dr. Staci Holweger, she has a Bachelor's of Science degree and a Master's degree in education. She also has 2 Ph.D.s, one in Integrative medicine and one in functional medicine. She's also an entrepreneur in holistic health and wellness. She's a Reiki master, a yoga instructor, a certified leadership coach, an author, and in Lifewave, she is an elite level senior presidential director and a U.S. advisory board member in Lifewave. But most importantly, and her why, she is a mother to a 20-year-old son and an angel daughter who was 19 years old with special needs. Her mission in life is to provide the best quality of life for her family while making a positive impact on the world with the knowledge she gains to educate and empower. So please welcome Dr. Staci Holweger. Thank you, Dr. Staci. We are so honored to have you today. So, before we get into the SP6, and we are focusing on that this webinar, but would you first say a word about our flagship X39 patch? We want to let people know that this is like the main patch, but if you would, thank you so much.
Absolutely. So our X39 patch looks like this. It's a non-transdermal patch. And this is a form of wearable light technology. And X39 stands up above all of the rest because of what it does. It elevates a peptide with a wavelength of light. That peptide is GHKCU copper peptide. You can go to PubMed and type in GHKCU. You'll find 13 pages of research and all the benefits of GHK. We call it the fountain of youth. But it does a lot of things for your cardiovascular system, neurological system, being able to help with wound healing, pain reduction, quality of sleep, mental energy, physical energy. The list goes on and on. But one of the most important things that this X39 does is it activates, elevates, and mobilizes your own master cells in your body that are responsible for repair and regeneration. And those cells can go anywhere that your body needs to help your body to heal from the inside out. The patch isn't doing the healing, but it activates the body's ability to do that like when you were a child. And so we always start with X39. It's a patch you put on in the morning. You leave it on 12 hours, and then you take it off and you throw it away or put it on your pet. If you've got a pet that you want to keep young and youthful as well, too. And then you would do that again the next day, day after day, week after month. We always recommend you wear X39 at least 1 month for every decade you are old to wake up all of those dormant cells that are responsible for repairing and regenerating. And so this patch is really about balance. It helps your body get into balance no matter what's going on. Your body can heal itself. It was designed to do that. Now, of course, if you're like myself, where there was nothing going on 4 years ago when I started patching, I was looking for prevention, for longevity, for vitality, and overall wellness. And I'll be honest, I was looking for the fountain of youth. And X39 provides that and so much more.
That's wonderful. And sorry, I don't want to make you, there you go. I don't want to make you little. Do you like, we're using these round circles because the patches are round. So that's one of our things that we're doing. So can you please talk to us about the SP6 patch?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
So SP6 is completely different. This patch is not the same at all. I mean, it looks the same. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's going to look identical, but it does not activate or elevate a peptide. SP6 is a patch that is responsible for a lot of things. So I'm going to give you some tidbits here. But basically, it supports healthy appetite control. It helps reduce cravings, and it helps balance your body's metabolism, of course, without drugs or stimulants or chemicals. So we're still using a wavelength of light that's coming from the patch that enters your body that is actually doing the work, right? So the body, it's activating the body's ability to do that. But this patch is very different than the X39. So I just want to make sure you understand that. It helps control your appetite naturally, reduce the cravings, encourages that healthy metabolic balance. You know, we talk about metabolic function today, and it's a big problem today. So this is going to support energy production and fat burning in your body, and stimulates specific acupressure points with the light. So I have here the instruction booklet. You can see there's a patch stuck to it. But we're going to look at specific acupuncture points on the spleen and the stomach meridian. So I'll talk a little bit more about those in a second. But you can see there's 3 different suggested locations. These are on the inside of the left foot or left shin area inside of the calf, or on the left knee area. So it works the same way with phototherapy, meaning light therapy, light that's entering their body, reflecting specific wavelengths of light back into the body, into the skin. Again, no ingredients enter the skin, but the light does. And these are on acupressure points traditionally associated with, appetite control and metabolic function. So it's going to target them based on traditional Chinese medicine. These points are used in acupuncture to help regulate your hunger and your digestion. So it's different than a supplement, because people are probably like, well, there's all these pills and potions and all these drinks and tinctures that I can consume, that are going to be able to suppress my appetite. But this patch uses your body's own energy and light. So it works very differently than something you're trying to ingest, absorb, assimilate, digest. All right. So like I said, we recommend one of these 3 acupuncture points, or even below the belly button. I know we talk about our tummy reduction protocol, and we like to put it to the left of the belly button with some other patches to help, get things moving there in that abdominal area. But it's the same thing where you wear it for 12 hours a day. You can apply it in the morning if you're looking for that craving control, but you can also use it at night. It's really up to you. But at the end of the day, hydration is very important. It's important no matter what with all of our patches, but it's really important because you're going to be supporting energy flow and detoxification. So of course, this is for anybody that can't handle the cravings. They've got the late night, the sugar, the snacking, people looking for, a natural metabolic balance. There's a lot of things out there today that people are injecting and using that are not so beneficial for the body, as we are coming to find out. And so those people that want a non-stimulant, drug-free wellness tool, then of course your SP6 is going to be fantastic for that. Now, I do want to share with you that the SP6 does more than just appetite suppressant and metabolism boosting. So it also directly supports your endocrine system. And your endocrine system is a set of glands and organs in your body that are responsible for hormone balancing and hormone regulation. So SP6 targets the spleen and stomach meridians, as I mentioned earlier, which in traditional Chinese medicine are believed to influence digestion, blood sugar regulation, and hormone balance. So the systems correlate with insulin, cortisol, and estrogen balance. And of course, we know today people are dealing with insulin resistance. That's a big buzzword today. And everyone knows about cortisol, right? Stress through the roof, dealing with your adrenal glands. And of course, as we're finding, people are very out of balance when it comes to hormones. And so assisting your blood sugar, we're going to talk about that first a little bit. So this SP6, the spleen meridian stimulation, is linked to better control of the glucose metabolism, which is a key endocrine function managed by the pancreas. And I think most people know that. But again, that's where you get into the reduction of cravings and supporting the appetite control. It helps ease the insulin spikes and the drops. So it promotes a more stable hormone environment. As I mentioned with the cortisol balancing, so chronic stress leads to elevated cortisol, which of course disrupts appetite and fat storage. So people are in that go, 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 fight or flight mode all the time. I'm stressed, or they're anxious, they're worried. There's a lot out there going on right now. And so cortisol levels are through the roof. SP6 is going to work synergistically with calming acupoints, as I mentioned, to help reduce stress-related hormone imbalances. I have to mention our Eon, of course, because that helps reduce that cortisol and inflammation as well, too. So they partner really well together with that X39. We also know that part of our endocrine system is our thyroid, and that happens to be a big buzzword these days. So by helping balance your metabolism and reduce, the internal stress loads, this patch is also supporting thyroid function, which governs metabolic rate and energy. It's particularly helpful for individuals with sluggish metabolism due to thyroid imbalances. So we also know, I know this sounds like a lot, but SP6 is a powerful patch. I don't think a lot of people know about this, but it encourages detox and lymphatic flow. So when you stimulate these acupoints, it will help with organ detoxification pathways, which help lighten the burden on the hormone-producing glands like the liver, which is a key organ in estrogen metabolism and detox. So the clearer the detox pathway supports the hormonal clearance, which is crucial for endocrine health. And then the last thing I want to say about SP6, because we have a lot of practitioners and doctors that I work with that work with gut health. That's another big, big buzzword right now. That gut health, digestion is key. And we know that because of the stress, the fight or flight mode people are in, their gut is just not working the way it's supposed to. And of course, when you partner that with the food or lack thereof, the nutrients that are in the food, we have a digestive system that is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So SP6 is a patch that's, of course, marked, like I said, for appetite control and metabolic function, but it offers that powerful support for your digestion. And so because of where you're placing this on your body, it's going to stimulate that digestion meridian, that digestive meridian, which is the spleen and the stomach meridian. And in traditional Chinese medicine, we know that when you stimulate these points, we are looking at regulating digestion, nutrient absorption, gut motility, and to be able to help ease bloating, support the gut movement, reduce indigestion and heaviness after meals. So it's going to help improve that metabolic flow, which of course is going to help with the energy or the qi in the body, right, in your digestive organs, and be able to help remove any stagnation that's happening in the stomach and in the intestines, which of course is going to help things move and promote that digestion even better, and a better absorption of nutrients. So when we look at traditional Chinese medicine, a balanced spleen meridian supports nutrient transformation and transportation. And so by stimulating these points, the patch is going to help optimize how your body breaks down and absorbs food, indirectly, of course, enhancing enzyme activity and nutrient uptake. So like I said, reducing those cravings, that's going to, that disrupt the digestion. It's going to help with that. So especially when you're looking at sugar and processed carbs, which we should be staying away from, but they lead to big digestion issues, right? The discomfort, the gas, the bloating, after you've eaten. So it's going to help those urges naturally, encourage healthier food choices, which are easier on the digestive system. That's important, and be able to calm that stress in the gut, which impacts that digestion. And then we also, probably one of the last things we'll say is, again, this is pretty common in the holistic world, is that gut-brain connection, leading to issues like the nausea, the bloating, the constipation. So when you're helping repair the parasympathetic nervous system, supporting that nervous system regulation, it helps calm the gut, reduces those tension-related digestion issues and symptoms that people are experiencing. So like I mentioned, I really like to partner this with the Eon patch because of what it does for the nervous system as well, and what it does to help reduce inflammation, especially in the digestive tract. It's just a really powerful patch to partner with your X39 and with your Eon. So I love SP6. Of course, when you get it, you will get the instruction booklet, so you know exactly where to apply the patch. And I suggest you rotate, try the different spots. See if you feel one way, meaning do you have cravings or are they gone? Some people, and of course we're all very different, but some people will say, oh, this spot right here. And you can usually tell if you feel on the inside of the leg where that spot is, if that's tender when you push on that spot, there's probably an imbalance in that meridian. And so that would be a good place to start. So, feel the inside of your ankle, the inside of your calf there, or on the outside, that stomach, spleen, stomach 36 area. Feel in there and see if you feel any discomfort when you're pushing, like you would be pushing on any point in your body. And if that's the area that is discomfort, then go ahead and apply your patch there and see how you feel that day. What do you notice? Or do you notice nothing? So you try a different spot the next day. You can rotate, but you will, I say you will. You may not notice this, but we see from clinical studies in the first 7 days, about an 87% improvement in the functionality of the endocrine system. So even in a week, we start to see things. And, when we talk about weight loss, it's not the one meal that you eat that starts it all and gets it all, where it gets those 5 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever it is gone. It's the daily consistency of what you're eating, of your habits, right? Your lifestyle choices, your exercise, your clean, healthy water, your sleep. It's a consistent thing. And our patches are the same way. You may not notice something on day 1. You may not notice something 7 days in. You may say, I'm still have the sugar cravings. And I'll be honest with you, sugar is more addictive than cocaine or heroin. So it was created that way on purpose, unfortunately. So it may be that you need a little bit longer, depending on how, I don't want to say addicted, but how addicted you are to sugar and the sugary processed foods, or even some people say, I don't eat any processed foods. Foods that turn into sugar in your body. A bowl of rice is just like eating a bowl of ice cream. Bowl of pasta, same way. Those things turn into sugar in your body. Bread, it's not that you have to consume, the donut for breakfast. It could be the English muffin that's turning into sugar in your body. And so being able to be aware of these things and know that it's going to take some time. When we look at hormone balancing, we look at a 90-day period to really look at some changes. If you were to go to a doctor that's going to look at your hormones, they would say, we're going to test you today and we're going to put you on XYZ, whatever it may be, transdermal cream, something like that. Come back in 90 days and we'll see where you are. Notice how you feel and the things that adjust throughout the next 3 months. They're not going to say, come back in a week. We'll check it out in a week. So I just wanted to give you just a broad overview, but also an understanding of what all SP6 can do for you.
Thank you, Dr. Stacy. That was very extensive. I do want to share a comment from the audience. We have Lynn Seminato, who's saying thank you for the clarity on the patches and how to use them. And I wanted to bring up Beth and Thomesa because I may have some questions. Beth, I think you had a question that came up while Dr. Stacy was talking.
I was just going to ask about that little teaser on the tummy protocol using SP6.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mentioned the X39, of course, in the Eon already, and then our SP6. So if you picture your belly button as the pitcher's mound, and we have a baseball diamond, right, with the catcher's plate being above the belly button, right? We're out there in center field below the belly button. Are you guys picturing the belly button and the diamond with me? Okay, so your X39 goes out there in center field, which is below the belly button. Your Eon goes at the catcher's plate, where above the belly button, right, where the batter's up there to hit. Your SP6 is going to go to the left, as it does here, right? We're talking left side of the body for the spleen, stomach, meridian. So your SP6 is going to go a few inches over to the left of the belly button. And on the right is the glutathione. And we didn't mention glutathione yet. That's our master antioxidant, detox, or immune booster. It is a powerful patch, elevating your own glutathione over 300%. It's a tripeptide. It's an incredible patch, but it helps to reduce the toxic load. We know toxins are stored in fat cells. And so if we can help reduce the inflammation in the cells with Eon, right, remove some of the toxins from those fat cells, and then you're revving up that metabolism, right, and you're cutting down those cravings and curb that appetite, we really can see a difference in the tummy in that 90-day period by doing the baseball diamond tummy reduction protocol.
That is cool. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Good
Oh,
trick.
that's nice.
And when would you, if someone is starting with the X39 and Eon, the dynamic duo, when they're first starting, that's what's recommended, right? The dynamic duo. When would you start someone on the SP6? Should they wait a few months? Does it depend on the person? What would you recommend?
Well, we're all different. Always X39 and Eon. It depends on their, how do I say this, level of commitment, right? So if you're going to do your X39 and you're going to do them every day and you're committed to the water and you're 12 hours on, you're 12 hours off, and I'm doing this, I'm going to make this happen, right? Give yourself a week. Know that you've got the 12 hours on, 12 hours off, plenty of hydration down pat. As you heard me mention with SP6, it does help support those detoxification pathways through our organs. So you want to make sure that you're being consistent. So if you want to wait a week or 2 weeks and add the SP6, that's fine. Can you do it on day one? I mean, you obviously can. You absolutely can. Just, know you're going to be doing a lot of things at one time. So if you're consistent with it, I think it's perfectly fine. You don't need to wait a month or 2 months or 3 months before you introduce a third patch. It's really just about your commitment and your consistency with what you're doing and drinking and staying hydrated with that water and your electrolytes. Things like that's really important.
Okay, we have another question from Lynn. She's asking, can we put more than one patch in the same area, such as more than X39 or others? Hope I am asking the question with clarity.
Yeah, so if you were to look below my belly button right now, I love to put my patches one right below the other. So I will do like this. I'll take one patch and I'll put it, and then I'll put the other one, we call that kissing. And so then I'll put a third one below that and a fourth one below that. And I just go straight down below the belly button with my patches, like my X39, Eon, glutathione, carnosine, just boom, 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 done. And then at night, I just rip those babies off and I throw on my Alavita. So you can definitely put them in the same area, just as I described with the baseball diamond all around that belly button. Or like when I used to patch my daughter and my son when they were little, I would put one on the back of the neck, the X39, and right below it, I would put the Eon. So one right below the other on the back of the neck. So you can definitely put them in the same area. Each patch is working by activating a different peptide or a different process in the body. But again, with the SP6, you want to make sure primarily you are sticking to one of these meridians because it's working with TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, on those acupuncture points.
Well, we have one of our co-hosts does have a testimonial regarding the SP6, so I wanted to bring on Rachel and Thomesa. Would you go ahead and introduce Rachel to us?
Oh, certainly. Rachel is the massage therapist extraordinaire for sure, if anybody's interested in deep tissue. She's been on the patch, hi, Rachel. I think she's been on the patch about 4 months maybe now. And I started with the X39 and Eon about 3 weeks in. I added SP6 because I do have thyroid issues. And she's been on that for a little bit now. And I was surprised the other day when she was telling me what it's done for her. And I just thought she would share that with everyone here because it is hormonal, it is endocrine system, it is the organs, but she had some great results from it. So welcome, Rachel.
Yeah, sorry I'm late to the party. Work ran late. I didn't account for daylight savings. So I've been using X39 since late September, and I started using SP6 probably mid-December, I'd say. The reason I got on it is, this is probably TMI for everybody, but that's just what it is. My mother had extremely, let's just say, bad PMS symptoms, and she was actually on medication, and I did not find that out until she passed, that she was on medication to help with her PMS symptoms. And I'm now 41, and probably starting around the 40-year mark, I started experiencing these symptoms as well. And I'm not going to take medication, so I figured, let's go the all-natural way. Well, SP6 obviously helps, balance the hormones, and I started researching the patch and said, what the heck, I'm going to give it a try. So I started using it, fast forward to probably beginning of February, and I'm sitting down, getting ready to eat dinner with my husband, and he says, it's kind of funny, we haven't been bickering as much. And I said, have you noticed that? I said, actually, yeah. I said, come to think of it, I didn't have my symptoms this month. I wasn't raging crazy Rachel. I was, emotionally stable. I wasn't super irritable. I didn't feel like I was crawling out of my skin. And the only thing I could say that I changed was putting the patch on. Now, I will say, now that it's been a month and I haven't seen Thomesa, I decided after my cycle was over, I was going to not wear the patch because I wanted to see if it actually worked. So February 28th, we leave for a vacation to California, and I start feeling kind of irritable. And I said, whatever, maybe I'm tired, maybe it's just travel. Let's just go the day. The next morning I wake up and I'm not the nice Rachel that I should be. So I say, okay, I'm going to put a patch on. Put a patch on. Next morning, wake up, still a little icky, but I do feel better. And by the third day, completely even keeled. So I have to say that for me, it has completely changed, my monthly cycle, but it has completely helped with my relationship with my husband, because as much as I want to blame men for everything, it's not always their fault. So I'm 100% sold on the SP6 patch, and is pretty much the only one other than the X39 that I wear consistently, and I will keep wearing it until I don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's my story.
Hormone balancing at its finest. People don't realize how hormones impact your mood and the way you interact with people. They just don't think of it like that. They think of, menopause or perimenopause or PMS or something like that. But it really does have a huge impact. Thank you for sharing that, Rachel. Congratulations. Yeah. And I love that you stopped patching for a little bit, because you thought, oh, this could just be. And then you're like, oh, no, we're not doing that again.
No.
Proof is always good. Proof is always good.
And that's me. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just a coincidence. So I'm pretty much dead set on the fact that it wasn't, and it's the real deal.
Good for you.
All right, before we run out of time.
Rachel, just excuse me, Lesley. I would say, Rachel, that even though you're going to stay on that until you don't have the cycles anymore, you might think about when menopause comes around, because people have those hot flashes.
Hey, and that's really the reason I started looking into SP6 for my aunt who was having crazy menopause symptoms, and I have a few clients as well. And I wanted to see how I could help them. And then that's kind of when I went down the rabbit hole of learning that it can really even out my hormones, and said, well, I'm going to try for myself. So I'm glad I did.
Powerful.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. Well, we're coming up on our time, and I know I want to make sure we respect the time of all the watchers at this time. But I want to let everyone know that next month we will be having another webinar. We always do it the second Thursday of the month, and next month we're going to talk about X39, and here is the link if you want to join us, tinyurl.com/longevity APR 2025, and note the capital L and capital A. So I want to thank Dr. Stacy so much for your help today, your knowledge. We learned so much, and just really appreciate it. And thank you, ladies, for being our co-host tonight. I want to say thank you to our audience for watching, and reach out to the person that invited you to this if you want to learn more and get your hands on these patches. These patches are amazing. So thanks again.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.